Act 1. The Genius. You are 27 years old, and you are going to save the world. That's not arrogance, that's the math. You graduated MIT at 21. Physics, not finance. Because finance is just physics for people who couldn't handle the real thing. You discovered effective altruism at 19, and the logic hit you like cold water. The fastest way to do good is to make as much money as possible and then give it all away. Simple, clean, mathematically sound. The ideology doesn't just justify the ambition, it is the ambition. One feeds the other, and you can't tell where one ends and the other begins, and you've never needed to. You dress like someone who doesn't care about money. Cargo shorts, old t-shirts, hair that looks like you cut it yourself in bad lighting. That's not an accident. That's a message. I'm not here for the lifestyle. I'm here for the mission. People around you, investors, regulators, journalists, find this combination of intellect and apparent indifference to comfort deeply, inexplicably reassuring. They give you their trust the way you'd give your keys to someone who clearly doesn't want them. You sleep 4 hours a night. You think that's fine. You'll sleep later. Right now there is work to do, and you are the only person smart enough to do it, which is not arrogance either. It is, as far as you can tell, simply true. You believe every word of it. That's the most important sentence in the story. Act 2. The Founder. You launch a crypto exchange in 2019 out of a rented apartment in Hong Kong with 6 people and a shared spreadsheet. The name is clean and technical. You want it to sound like infrastructure, not a casino. You want it to sound inevitable. Within 18 months, it is. Traders flood in from every time zone. The volume numbers are absurd, doubling, tripling, not flattening the way the models said they would. You raise your first institutional round, and the check clears in 48 hours. Investors don't negotiate. They beg to get in. The money doesn't feel real. It feels like a scoreboard, and you have always been good at scoreboards. You move the company to Nassau. Tax efficiency, yes, but also the island is beautiful, and you are 27 years old, and you have just built something that is worth $25 billion, and the ocean outside the window is the color of a screensaver. And for the first time in your life, you think, maybe the scoreboard isn't the only thing. You rent a penthouse complex for the team. 20 people, 4 floors, glass walls, ocean on 3 sides. You call it the house. Everyone lives together, works together, eats together, argues and reconciles and argues again over dinner. Nobody sleeps enough. Everyone believes in what you're building, and the belief is electric and real, and it feels like the beginning of something that will outlast all of you. The first magazine cover runs in the spring. You wear the same shorts. The headline calls you the J.P. Morgan of crypto. Your mother frames it and puts it in the kitchen. You tell her it's a little much. You don't ask them to change it. Act 3. The Architect. The problem appears in the 3rd quarter, and it is very quiet about it. The trading arm, the other company you run alongside the exchange, the one that does the actual market making, is underwater. Not catastrophically. Not the kind of thing that makes headlines. It's a gap in the numbers, an imbalance. The financial equivalent of a hairline fracture in a wall you're still planning to hang art on. You've seen worse, you've fixed worse. At 2 o'clock in the morning alone, the office empty and the air conditioning too cold, you make the decision. You move $500 million from the customer deposit accounts into the trading arm to cover the position. It takes 4 keystrokes. Technically, it takes 4 keystrokes. In every other sense, it takes something you won't be able to name for a long time. A crossing, a line, a before and after. That exists, whether you acknowledge it or not. You tell yourself, it's a bridge, a few weeks. You'll generate the revenue, replace the funds, and no one will ever know there was a gap, because there won't be a gap, because you will have already fixed it. The math works. The math always works. You go to sleep. In the morning, there is a sponsorship offer on your desk. $20 million to put your logo on a Formula One car. You read the brief over coffee. The car runs in Monaco. The car runs in Silverstone. 200 million people watch Formula One. You sign the contract before lunch. The $500 million is still in the trading account. The weeks became a month. The month became 2. You've been busy, you tell yourself you'll get to it. Act 4, the performance. This is the year everything is true and nothing is real. Your valuation hits $25 billion. You are on the cover of Forbes and Fortune in the same quarter. Congress calls you to testify on crypto regulation, and you fly to Washington in a private jet and sit before a Senate committee in your cargo shorts and argue for 90 minutes for a regulatory framework that would legitimize the entire industry. You are calm. You are specific. You cite academic papers from memory. The senators lean forward. They smile. One of them calls you refreshingly honest. You fly home and play video games for 6 hours straight. The hole in the trading arm is $3.2 billion. You know this number the way you know your own heartbeat. Constantly, automatically, without having to check. You manage it the way a surgeon manages a bleed during an operation, steadily, clinically, eyes open, hands steady, never letting the team in the room see anything other than total control. You move more customer funds, and here is the mechanism, the thing that makes the whole structure feel almost logical from the inside. You use your own exchange token, the one you created, as collateral to borrow against the position. You are borrowing from yourself to pay yourself back. It works because the token price holds. The token price holds because people trust the exchange. People trust the exchange because of the magazine covers and the Congress testimony and the Formula One car, and the fact that you sit before senators in cargo shorts and they call you refreshingly honest. The machine feeds itself. You throw a conference in Nassau, 3,000 people, open bar, a DJ who charges $500,000 for 2 sets. Tom Brady films a commercial in your office, grinning at a laptop, saying he doesn't know much about crypto, but he knows about winning. Steph Curry signs an ambassador deal. You fly a group of billionaire investors to the island for the weekend. Catamaran, champagne, sunset over the Caribbean, everyone laughing, everyone doubling their positions on Monday morning. The video game thing becomes famous. He plays FPS games on calls with investors. He doesn't even mute himself. People write about it like it's a personality quirk, like it's confidence. And it is confidence, the kind that has a trap door under it. Some mornings you wake up at 5 a.m. and lie there in the dark and feel the weight of the number. Not guilt exactly. Something stranger. A split-screen feeling. One version of you on stage getting a standing ovation. Another version watching quietly from the back of the room, holding the real balance sheet, saying nothing. You've gotten very good at being both people. So good that sometimes you can't find the seam between them. Then someone sends you the morning numbers, and they're green, and you get out of bed, and you go to work. Act 5. The Crack. November 2nd. A financial news site publishes an article about your trading arm's balance sheet. Dry. Technical. Specific. Someone leaked it, you have your suspicions, you'll never confirm them. The article shows that the majority of the trading arm's assets are held in your own exchange token. Collateral you printed. A number that exists because you decided it should exist. You read it at 6 a.m., sitting on the edge of your bed, and feel something drop through the floor of your chest. You spend the next 48 hours on the phone. You call investors. You call market makers. You call people you haven't spoken to in 2 years. You are calm on every call. Unnervingly calm. The kind of calm that either reassures people completely or confirms their worst fears, and there's no way to know which until it's too late. You call the article FUD. You call it misleading. You call it a hit piece by people who don't understand how collateral works. Some people believe you. On November 6th, the CEO of your biggest competitor, the largest exchange in the world, and until last week, your largest institutional shareholder, posts a single tweet. He is liquidating his entire position in your token. No explanation, no drama. Just a fact, stated flatly. In public, to his millions of followers. The token drops 25% in the hour after the tweet, then another 20% by afternoon. The bank run starts at noon, and it does not stop. $6 billion leaves the platform in 72 hours. You watch it happen in real time on a dashboard in the house, a single number, updating every few seconds, moving in one direction, with the calm inevitability of a tide going out. Your team is around you and nobody is talking much. Someone makes coffee. Nobody drinks it. You are on the phone constantly. Lawyers, investors, regulators, journalists. And in between calls, you look at the dashboard, and the number has a color now, and the color is no longer yellow. You call your competitor directly. You ask him to buy the exchange. He says yes. 14 hours later, he calls back. He has looked at the books. The answer is no. His exact words are that the problem is beyond what anyone can manage. He hangs up. You hold the phone for a moment, not moving, and then you put it face down on the table. There is $8 billion missing. Customer funds, real money that real people deposited because they trusted the scoreboard, because they watched the Forbes cover and the Senate testimony, and Tom Brady grinning at a laptop and decided, this one is different. This one is real. At 3:17 in the morning, you sign the bankruptcy papers. The ocean outside is black and still. The catamaran is docked and lit up with its little running lights. Someone slides a laptop across the table, and you don't read the document, you know what it says, and you sign your name and the screen closes, and that's it. You open Twitter. You type, "I'm sorry." You mean it. You don't know yet how little that matters. Act 6, the wreckage. You stay in the Bahamas. Your lawyers tell you not to talk. This is, professionally speaking, the only advice that matters right now, and you cannot follow it. You do a Twitter Spaces the day after the bankruptcy. You do a long interview with the New York Times. You DM a reporter at length, and the DMs end up on the front page. In every interview, you are apologetic and confused and disheveled. You use careful passive phrases: "I didn't knowingly commit fraud. I thought the assets were there. Mistakes were made." And you believe, or you tell yourself you believe, that confusion is a kind of honesty. The people who lost money are not confused. The couple who put in $12,000. The kid who invested his first paycheck because Steph Curry said it was fine. The retirees, they email you. Not all of them in anger. Some of them just want to understand. They want to know where the money went. They write to you directly, your real name, as if you might write back with an explanation that makes the number make sense. You don't write back. The Formula One car is still racing. Abu Dhabi, your logo in orange at 180 miles per hour. The contract runs through December, and the lawyers say you can't pull it, and it is the most absurd thing you've ever been unable to do anything about. On December 12th, the Bahamian authorities knock on the door of the penthouse at 6 a.m. You are in shorts and a t-shirt. You look, in the photos that run everywhere the next morning, like someone who slept badly and expected this. You probably did. You probably have been expecting it since the morning you read a dry financial article sitting on the edge of your bed and felt something drop through the floor of your chest. Act 7, the cell. The courtroom is smaller than you imagined. The people who built the company with you, your co-founder, your girlfriend who ran the trading arm, two of your closest engineers sit on the other side and tell the jury, in precise and unhurried detail, exactly what you knew and exactly when you knew it. They have made deals. They will serve little or no time. They tell the truth because the truth is the only currency they have left, and watching them spend it is the strangest thing you've ever experienced. Stranger than the Forbes cover, stranger than Congress, stranger than the 3:17 a.m. signature. The jury takes 4 hours, 7 counts, 7 guilty. The judge reads each one, and you sit very still and feel, for the first time, without the split screen, without the performance, without the ideology holding everything together, the full weight of the specific people who trusted you. Not the abstract millions, the specific ones, the ones who wrote to you, the ones who just wanted to know where the money went. You don't have a better answer now than you did then. The judge sentences you to 25 years. There is no catamaran. There is no ocean view. There is a cell and a cot, and 25 years of time that cannot be optimized or leveraged or turned into a scoreboard. Just time. moving at its regular speed, indifferent to how smart you are. You think sometimes about the ideology, about whether you believed it at the beginning, about when believing it became useful, about whether there was a morning you woke up and decided consciously, clearly, to do what you did, or whether it happened the way the hairline crack becomes the collapsed wall, gradually, then all at once. And by the time you see it clearly, you are already buried. You don't have an answer for that either. The math, it turns out, was never the point. The math was always the fraud.